Shaka Zulu, Mansa Musa, Hannibal Barca, Sundiata Keita, Menelik II. The end of the 5 great war kings. Shaka Zulu. Picture a warrior so fierce that his very name struck terror across the entire southern region of Africa. The bull elephant, Shaka Zulu, had one obsession: transforming his small clan into an unstoppable war machine. He revolutionized combat itself, throwing away the traditional long spear for a short stabbing blade he called the Ikwa. His armies moved like shadows, covering 50 miles in a single day, while enemy forces still prepared their camps. For 12 years, victory followed victory. Shaka expanded Zulu territory from 100 square miles to 11,000, absorbing over 300 clans into his empire. But conquest demanded sacrifice. His warriors could not marry until they had washed their spears in enemy blood. Everything changed when his mother, Nandi, died. The king who never showed weakness completely shattered. He ordered a year of mourning where no crops could be planted, no milk consumed, and any woman found pregnant would be executed alongside her husband for daring to find joy during his grief. Thousands died from his grief-fueled madness. His own warriors began questioning whether their king had lost his mind. Then came the whispers, the secret meetings among his half-brothers who feared what Shaka had become. On the 22nd of September 1828, while most of his army was away on campaign, Shaka was assassinated by his 2 half-brothers, Dingane and Malangana. They stabbed him repeatedly at his royal kraal. According to witnesses, Shaka's final words acknowledged his fate. "Brothers, why do you kill me?" His body was thrown into an empty grain pit, buried without ceremony, a cruel end for a king who had reshaped an entire region through warfare. Hannibal Barca. Now we travel north to Carthage, where a boy swore eternal hatred against Rome at his father's altar. Hannibal Barca would become the nightmare that haunted the Roman Republic for 17 years. While Rome commanded the Mediterranean, Hannibal did the impossible. He marched 37 war elephants over the Alps in winter, losing nearly half his 40,000-man army to cold and treachery. Yet he emerged in Italy like a demon from the mountains. At Cannae, he faced a Roman army twice his size, 86,000 against his 50,000. Military academies still study what happened next. Hannibal encircled the entire Roman force and slaughtered them. 50,000 Romans died in a single afternoon. Some historians call it the deadliest day of battle in human history. He was reportedly asked, "Will you now march on Rome?" Hannibal answered, "I know how to win victories, but not how to use them." This hesitation would haunt him. He ravaged Italy for 15 years but never struck the capital itself. Rome adapted, avoided direct battle, and struck Carthage instead. Hannibal was recalled to defend his homeland. At Zama in 202 BC, he finally met defeat at the hands of Scipio Africanus, who had studied every one of Hannibal's tactics and turned them against their creator. Carthage surrendered. Hannibal fled into exile, wandering from kingdom to kingdom. Rome pursued him relentlessly for 20 years. Finally cornered in Bithynia with no escape, the greatest tactical mind in military history took poison rather than be captured. His last words: "Let us relieve the Romans of their anxiety. They are too impatient to wait for an old man to die." Sundiata Keita. Deep in West Africa, a crippled prince was prophesied to become the greatest king Mali would ever know. Sundiata Keita, the Lion King, could not walk as a child, while his brothers ran and played. His father's other wives mocked him mercilessly, calling him worthless. But prophecy declared this disabled boy would unite the Mandinka people. Then one day, using an iron rod for support, Sundiata stood for the first time. He didn't just walk, he bent the iron rod with his strength. When the sorcerer king, Soma Oro Kante, conquered his homeland and executed 11 of his brothers, Sundiata was in exile. He gathered an army of the displaced and the desperate, returning to challenge the tyrant who ruled through fear and dark magic. At the Battle of Kyrene in 1235, Sundiata faced Sumaoro's forces. Legend says Sumaoro's warriors wore armor that deflected ordinary weapons, but Sundiata had discovered the sorcerer's weakness, an arrow tipped with a white rooster's spur, the one thing that could harm him. The battle raged until Sundiata's special arrow struck Sumaoro, breaking his power. The sorcerer king fled, never to be seen again. Some say he vanished into a mountain cave, others that he transformed into stone. Sundiata established the Mali Empire, creating the Kurukan Fuga, one of Africa's oldest constitutions, which protected against slavery and established human rights. He ruled for 25 years of peace and prosperity. But even the Lion King met an unexpected end. In 1255, during a festival celebrating the empire's success, Sundiata drowned in the Sankarani River under mysterious circumstances. Some accounts suggest assassination, others an accident during festivities. The king who overcame paralysis to unite an empire was claimed by water, not by any warrior's blade. Mansa Musa. Here stands history's wealthiest man. Though calling Mansa Musa merely rich insults the magnitude of his fortune. His net worth, adjusted for inflation, exceeded $400 billion more than any human before or since. But this king of Mali was also a warrior who expanded his empire to twice its size, conquering 24 cities, including the vital trading hub of Timbuktu. His armies controlled the gold and salt trade routes that made Europe's economy function. In 1324, he embarked on his legendary pilgrimage to Mecca with 60,000 attendants and 80 camels, each carrying 300 pounds of gold. He gave away so much wealth in Cairo that he crashed Egypt's economy for 12 years. Gold became worthless because one man passed through. Mansa Musa was reportedly asked why he gave away such fortunes. He responded that spreading wealth was his religious duty. But make no mistake, every gift also demonstrated Mali's power. He used economics as warfare without bloodshed. He transformed Timbuktu into a center of learning, building the Sankore University, which housed over 1 million manuscripts. Scholars traveled across continents to study there, making Mali's intellectual reputation as formidable as its military might. Yet even unlimited wealth could not buy immortality. Mansa Musa died around 1337, possibly from natural causes, though records remain unclear. His son inherited the throne, but lacked his father's brilliance for both conquest and administration. Within a generation, raiders began chipping away at Mali's borders. The empire that once made gold worthless eventually crumbled, and much of Mansa Musa's legendary wealth vanished into history. Menelik II. We close with the emperor who humiliated Europe. While the continent of Africa was being carved up by colonial powers in the late 1800s, Ethiopia stood defiant under Emperor Menelik II. Italy looked at Ethiopia's ancient independence and saw opportunity for conquest. They had superior weapons, modern military tactics, and the arrogance of a colonial empire. Surely this African kingdom would fall like all the others. Menelik was underestimated because Europeans believed no African ruler could match their military sophistication. They were catastrophically wrong. He imported weapons from Russia, France, and even Italy itself, stockpiling 100,000 modern rifles. When Italy invaded in 1895, Menelik mobilized the largest army Ethiopia had ever assembled. 100,000 warriors, many armed with cutting-edge weapons. He personally led his forces into battle, riding at the front like the warriors of old. At Adwa, on the 1st of March 1896, Menelik's forces surrounded the Italian army. In a single day, Ethiopia killed or captured 60% of Italy's invasion force. An African army decisively crushed a European colonial power, using their own modern weapons against them. Europe was shocked into silence. Italy was humiliated. Ethiopia remained independent, while nearly every other African nation fell to colonization. Menelik had proven that African kingdoms could defeat European empires on equal technological footing. He ruled for 17 more years, modernizing Ethiopia with railroads, telegraph lines, and modern infrastructure. Yet his body eventually failed him. After suffering a series of strokes, Menelik II died on the 12th of December, 1913. He was buried with full honors in Addis Ababa, his dignity intact, his nation unconquered, the only African leader of his era who could claim such a victory. These 5 great war kings reshaped Africa through conquest and cunning. One was murdered by his own brothers during madness. Another chose poison over capture. A third drowned mysteriously during celebration. The fourth's wealth outlived his empire, and the last died peacefully after defeating colonialism itself. Though their reigns ended in vastly different ways, they shared an identical fate. They all died, still reaching for something greater.